everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. This time I actually got asked by one of my users, that being Brosident, I hope I pronounce it correctly, in terms of where exactly do you place the city services, that being water, electricity and all the other stuff, if it actually makes a difference. Well, it's as I mentioned before, and I'll say it again, this is a very good question. No, I didn't have a tutorial, this is why I'm making one now. Don't mix up SimCity style gameplay with the Cities Excel. It's substantially different. In SimCity it actually makes a difference where you place the water and electricity. Over here it really doesn't matter where you place the water and electricity, so you can literally place it anywhere as long as of course it's connected to the road. Now how do you know if it's connected to the road? Including buildings and any other structures that you place down. Let's take the water for example. You're gonna have a small little red dot, and that red dot will show you where the road's supposed to be. Now all structures obviously have this, so as you do see the red dot is on this side of the actual building. So as long as I connect a road here, it is connected to the city, and that city will get this resource as it can man it up. Now, of course, water and electricity, doesn't matter where you place it. As mentioned before, water, of course, you can only place it in you can say parts that have water. As you do see, when I select water, it only shows you where I have the water, you can say supplies, reservoirs, and everywhere else I can't really place water. Electricity on the other hand, you can place anywhere. Yes, you can place electricity anywhere. Again, it should be connected to the road unless it's a windmill. I do believe even a windmill should be somehow connected to the road, as you do need to supply it with maintenance. Let's just confirm that by just placing a windmill in the middle of nowhere, and let's see if actually that flies or not. Now, no, you also need a road for the windmill. Yeah, it does make sense. So literally all city services need to be placed and connected by road. Doesn't matter where you actually place it. Once it's connected to the road, the actual city gets that resource or that service that you're trying to give it to. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that electricity, if you're placing windmills, it doesn't matter if you place it close to the city, because windmills is green. Remember, each city is split into dirty and green cities, as I did mention in my other tutorials. So, but of course, for example, this is a dirty city. I'm not going to place, you can say, a small power plant close to my actual residence or close to my farms, because obviously a power plant and all the other, you can say, carbon pollutants are going to produce pollution, which obviously gives air pollution and noise pollution, and of course environmental pollution, which obviously reduces the efficiency and damages the surrounding area. So don't place any of these you can say pollutants close to the actual residence or to any other structure. I preferably throw them far away, and even better, I would prefer if you place the electricity in your dirty town, that being the electrical town. Of course, if you do watch my specializations, you'll know where I'm getting my electricity from, as this town isn't producing any electricity at all. I'm getting it all imported. Now this is in terms of you can say utilities. Now you have water, you can place anywhere. Electricity you can also place anywhere, just as make sure that if it's dirty, place it far away from all the other stuff, that being your offices, any other commercial or agriculture stuff. Place it far away if you do insist on placing the coal power plants or power plants close to your or in clean towns. Now water you can literally place anywhere as long as the actual map shows you reservoirs. Doesn't make a difference. Everybody gets everything. Waste and fuel, the same thing. Again, keep in mind that waste and fuel obviously produce pollutants. That's why again I would recommend you to place these too far away from the actual residential, commercial, or any of the structures that you may have in the actual city district. Now for the ledgers, where you place the ledgers, of course the ledgers that you are placing down, you are most probably going to try to place them in the center of your actual, you can say, districts. As you do see here, I have in the center, I do have all my city ledgers and city services as well. So you have my city services, education, health, all the other stuff that you need, environment, fire and rescue, security, hospitals, all in the center of my actual blocks. As you do see, you do have them in the center of my blocks. I do try to place them as much as possible in the center. Now, what you will realize is that you're going to start placing really big city services in the center, and the outskirts are probably going to be missing a few resources. So what you're going to start to do is place smaller, you can say, resources or smaller buildings, like for example the elementary school on the outskirts of the actual blocks, and you're going to start keeping the large ones in the center, as the large ones cover larger districts. So this is literally in terms of where you should be placing your city services, your actual utilities, and of course your ledgers for the actual towns itself. I really did hope it helped you out. City services and let's just go back to city services. Obviously should be placed in the center, and utilities, as well, should be placed not in the center but far away, preferably from the actual town itself, especially if it's dirty. That meaning you know, carbon emitting or pollutant emitting thing, like for example fuel or junkyards. They should be placed far away. And that's pretty much it for placing those far away. And I knew I forgot one thing. Now, in terms of specialization buildings, yeah, it doesn't really matter where you place them. Specializations don't need to be placed close to the actual resource or close to the specialization that you're doing, but you'll notice that some specializations require you to place it beside each other. So for example, as you notice, the water treatment, it has to be placed close to the water storage, but you'll notice that you have to place it close to it because it'll give you a highlighted area. So when you actually do start to build the water treatment, it'll actually show you where it can only be built. This of course applies for a few other, you can say, things that you will be building, or specialization buildings. It'll highlight the area in case you need to place it somewhere, but preferably place it anywhere you want. In regards to specialization buildings, they don't need to be placed close by. Just make sure that it's connected to the roads, and make sure that of course all the four different classes that you do see here have a good access, road access towards that specialization building, because usually specialization buildings go all the way up to elites, so you do need all four classes, or at least all the top three classes, to at least have access to that. So this is pretty much it in terms of placing and positioning your actual utilities, city services, and of course leisures. I hope this helped you out, and as always, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and thanks again for that question, and leave any questions below in case I may have forgotten a tutorial. And happy gaming. See ya.